this is the city commission meeting, Thursday, November the 19th at 6 p.m. We'll have our invocation given by Commissioner Harris. I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of life, family, and friends. We ask for your healing presence among our nation and among our world. We ask for your guidance tonight as we come together to do the city's business. In your holy name we pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Okay, our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Here.
Commissioner Moya.
Here.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Here.
Commissioner Arias.
Here.
Are there any considerations of changes or deletions to the agenda?
Yes, ma'am. I ask that we remove item is
7C, isn't it?
yes, ma'am. 7C.
All right.
Madam,
There being no other changes, I'd entertain a motion to accept the agenda as corrected.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second. I'll second it.
Okay.
I'll second.
There you go.
Commissioner Moya second, for the record.
All right, roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes. Do we have any public comments? Did anyone call in?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. It's approved by a single motion, and any member of the commission may request an item be transferred to the regular agenda from the consent without discussion or vote. And those that we will be voting on is the approval of the October 22nd work session notes, the approval of the October 22nd commission meeting. So entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis seconded. We'll let Angelica get back in here.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So is it the consent agenda?
Yes, and Commissioner Arias made the motion, and Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis seconded. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
All right, next is ordinances and resolutions. We have resolution 2020-41, it's budget adjustment for the fiscal year 21 for October. Mark, are you presenting that?
No, ma'am. Rochelle will be presenting that.
Oh, okay, Rochelle, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were on.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. This is my, budget adjustment resolution for October, that I need to report to DFA. This budget adjustment is in the amount of $5,732. That is unfavorable, but it still only brings our budget is still sitting at a deficit of $86,131. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, or I ask for your approval on my resolution.
Commissioner Moore, you have any questions?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. Most of this that you have a negative in the fund and that's, on the last unfavorable, that means they're negative?
for this particular budget adjustment?
Yeah,
Yes, it's unfavorable.
okay, because I was looking at the EMS, I think that's pretty significant. We're still at 45, is that what it is?
The EMS, we actually were able to reconcile and get caught up on it. Let me look at their numbers.
Yeah, they got 45.
They're sitting in a negative. I just received a report today from the billing company,
Mm-hmm.
and they billed for the month of October, they billed $26,186.84, and we have received payments of $45,647.54. That was just for the month of October. So those payments could have been from prior months, but that's how much we received in the month of October.
Okay, yeah, so that actually makes it only about $100 deficit, is that what we're talking about?
I believe, so when I looked at the numbers today, their cash between, the amount that we bill and the amount that we have to adjust off due to uncollectibles or having to reduce our costs because of Medicare and Medicaid, they're sitting on about $100,000 right now.
Uncollectible, are you talking about, uncollectible, right?
No, the 100,000 is their cash between what's been billed and what's been written off. So they're sitting at 100,000 that's favorable for EMS right now.
And these ones that are written off, have we ever attempted to get anything from the indigent fund?
The indigent fund would come from the county, not.
That's right, but have we ever talked about that? I'm trying to see how we can offset so much expense in the EMS, on the EMS, since we do a lot to service the whole county as a whole, to be honest with you, in many ways. And so I wondered if the county would ever work with us on that, but anyway, that's not part of the budget, but it's an idea. So you're saying that even after you got the 26,000 today, we're still in a deficit of 45, or did you add it, or did you deduct it?
So that report was just sent today, so that's not reflected in the numbers that I'm presenting for the bar because this is for October.
Okay, so that makes it look a little more civilized, you know, except the 100,000,
Yeah,
I think we have to look
I
at.
think next month, EMS will start looking better as
Great.
we keep going through now that we're able to actually obtain the report.
Yeah,
And report it.
I think if we stay on top of it, that's the only way to make sure the check and balance work well. Because, you know, for years and years, we have really been in deficit at EMS, but it seems like there hasn't been a strong motivation to hold them accountable for the collectibles anyway. So I'm glad we have a new billing agency, and it seems like they're doing good work on that. And let me ask you, and there's another one on the 26,000 from the correction department. What are we talking there?
Which one are you looking at for that one?
Yeah, it's 44, right? You have a negative at 26,000.
It's the 02044 on the fund summary.
That one for the corrections would be, let me get to that page, give me just 1 second. What that is, that's because of the cost for the reconstruction or the,
Oh, the judge's office?
renovation that was happening in City Hall, so remember we talked about that we were gonna use the cash that was sitting inside in collection to pay for those renovations for the judge and the court closed. It's gonna come out of their cash, so that's why you're showing in a negative right now.
Okay, I quite didn't understand that. You said, I know it's the judge's office.
So if you look at the report from DFA, the one that says, the local government budget management system, it's a landscape picture.
Mhm.
If you look at corrections, they have cash of 34,849.
They had 34,000?
On page 20 of 29, Commissioner Royal, on the top.
Yeah. But that would not be on the negative then, would it? well, you got 34,000. That would be less,
Well,
wouldn't it?
it's gonna show a negative on.
Oh, you haven't transferred it?
But it's gonna offset it in the cash at the end of the year.
Okay, you haven't transferred it, is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. Sounds good. I had, another one here. You know, the COVID and all this, you have on the golf course, you have a 9,500 deficit. What's the deal on that?
So the golf course is, so we received the money from the golf shed out there. We received money from the people who leased them. So when Angelica bills in January and they start making their payments for the new year, it will offset that cost. That cost was for the Rainbird maintenance agreement that we approved, I believe, either in the last commission or the one prior to that.
The one prior.
Very interesting to know how much they utilize in the golf course now with the corona.
Well, just the next 2 weeks they can't, but they've been going out there a lot. There's been a lot of people out there.
They have been, like the mayor said, Commissioner Moore, with the new public health order that came out, we have since closed the golf course since Monday.
Okay. So actually, we have 86,131 in deficit, but if you transfer some of the other ones that we're talking about, it's gonna be a lot less because they're already budget, so actually they're not, okay. Good. Sounds good, thank you.
And the golf course also, they're in Fund 03,000, so they're kind of, on the DFA system, they're kind of combined with others, and unfortunately, I don't have that report in front of me. But the golf course did have some, cash from prior years that has carried over. So if this happens to continue into a deficit, that cash will, pay that off.
Is there any reason why we couldn't transfer that right now?
Where would we transfer it from?
From the cash you're talking about?
The golf course?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, again, like I'm saying, that comes from the golf shed leases, so that's its own, that money is for the maintenance and repairs of the golf course.
Oh, okay, so that was, okay.
That money gets put into a different fund, it's not part of general fund, but they have some rollover cash from prior years that will offset that deficit, but you won't see that until the end of the year.
Okay,
Once everything's said and done.
thank you. That's all I have.
Okay,
You're
so,
welcome, thank you.
I would entertain a motion to accept resolution 2020-41.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2020-41.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
okay,
Thank
next
you.
is old business, and it's acknowledgement of the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board minutes from October the 7th. Does anyone have any questions on that?
No.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to accept these board minutes from, oh, we don't have to, okay, never mind.
Just
You ready?
we just need for you to acknowledge.
Okay. Under new business is approval to transfer lodgers tax executive funds for promotional items. Do we
I'll
have-
present that, Mayor.
Okay,
So we had previously discussed the marketing efforts of the rebranding going on through New Mexico Main Street. They've been helping us out with that. And just recently, we had a lodgers tax meeting in which the logo was kind of released to the lodgers tax board for review. Unanimously, they all decided to approve that that was a great logo for the marketing and promotional use for Tucumcari as a whole. And in doing so, it was recommended not only from our lodgers tax unanimously, but also from New Mexico Main Street, the individuals that were working on the branding, to really start hitting the ground running and get this new image, this new brand out there to the public. And their recommendation, the best way to do so was in the form of promotional items, some swag with the new emblem on it, say in the form of maybe some bags, shopping reusable bags, as well as some stickers and window clings, as well as some pint glasses with the logo on it, a few array of different things to get that swag out there. And I did reach out to the Lodgers Tax to get their recommendation, how they, if they thought this was appropriate or not. And they all unanimously supported that idea. So at this time, we're asking to utilize $5,000 from the executive side of Lodgers Tax.
And that's for the rebranding.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And that's for the swag to have those items and start distributing them out to people. That way we could get that image out there, the new brand. The city of Tucumcari is still gonna stay with our seal. That's unique to the city of Tucumcari for municipal government. Whereas this Tucumcari brand is more in line for marketing and promoting Tucumcari as a whole, not so much just the city of Tucumcari.
Okay, Commissioner Artis, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am, I have one. Are we gonna maintain control over the inventory of these items, or who's gonna be holding on to them in the meantime?
That is a great question. My assumption, since it was through Main Street, it was gonna be a collaborative effort between the city of Tucumcari, Main Street, and Lodgers Tax to distribute these. But I would assume since the city's going to purchase these items and it's going through us, I would assume that we would maintain possession.
I would recommend that, just that way. I mean, obviously it's gonna come out, it's gonna be given out, and I'm fine with that, but we just gotta make sure that we know where they're going and we can monitor, make sure that it's being used in places that it needs to be. That's the only question I had, Mayor.
Commissioner, Villanueva, do you have any questions?
Oh, ma'am, not right now.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
I don't have any questions. I'm glad they're getting moving on it though.
Me too, Commissioner Moya?
No, I just want to remind the public that sometimes people get these taxes, what we call mixed up. And this is a tax that is imposed by they themselves, the lodgers, to be able to promote the business and promote the area. Because, you know, eventually it's what happens sometimes, we will, okay, something for the lodgers tax, and then I will hear somebody in the community talk or come by and visit with me and say, how about our potholes, why can't we use that? But that money is actually legislatively and made for the purpose of promoting their own industry. So even if that was available, we couldn't utilize it for any of our infrastructure. It has to be specifically returned back to that industry. So I just want to point clarification that this is their own money that is going back out for their own promotion. So that's all I have.
Thank you for the clarification, Commissioner. I've had the same, that was a very good point, because I've had individuals as well say, the city has this money, then they should spend it, like I said, on poles or something else, but this is specifically for lodging and try to get people to Tucumcari. So thank you for that.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the transfer of the Lodgers Tax executive funds for promotional items.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a
I'll make a
motion.
motion that we approve the promotional item, the executive funds have been moved over to promotional items.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
okay, next is approval of agreement with Plateau Telecommunications.
Yes, ma'am, I'll be presenting that. A few weeks, a week or two ago, I received a phone call from Plateau requesting to utilize some existing city property. It's the 2 landfills ago. And they were having some concerns with everybody working from home, as well as the online learning for the children at school. Their system was a bit bogged down and they're not able to reach out to certain customers. So in an effort to provide the best service, they have asked the city if they would be, if Plateau would be able to place what they call a COW. It's a cellular on wheels, cellular tower, and what that does, that boosts the signal for those with their wireless internet. And in doing so, it would provide a better reception for the kids and for those working from home. So I thought this was something that was a great idea. I asked them to provide an agreement, and they did so, and I forwarded that to Randy Knudsen, our city attorney, for approval. He did not see any issues with it. I think it's a great thing to provide to the community, and at this time, I ask for any, if you have any questions, if not, ask for your approval.
Commissioner Villanueva, you have any questions?
Just how much is it gonna cost us, Mark?
Nothing. It's not going to cost the city any money. The only thing that's really spelled out in this contract, that would even be any concern, I guess, of the city is that they have to have access to the old landfill. That's been closed for quite some time. It's 2 landfills ago, not just the most recent that was open. So my solution to that is having them actually furnish the lock and give us access to it since it's our property, or they interlock their lock with our lock, just so they have access so they could service their equipment. And the other thing that I made clear is that we would not be responsible for any damage. If it's out there, we're doing it all risk-free. That's on them, and that's been stated in the contract. So there is no direct cost to the city. The Plateau is front and that side of it.
That answer your question?
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis, any questions?
No, I have none.
Okay, Commissioner Moya?
The only one I have is, you put us as a landlord, if we're not receiving any compensation, is that the appropriate language?
Yes, sir. That is the language that Plateau provided, and our attorney was fine with it.
But a landlord means that they're gonna be compensated, and we're not. We're doing something for the community, so they pay people up there. We are the property owners.
And we could have that amended.
Yeah, because
I could have it say property owner said landlord.
Yeah, because under landlord, it gives a misunderstanding that we're gonna receive some sort of a compensation for this, and we really have to be very careful because under the anti-donation clause, we have to, and I think, just the owner, and I think the landlord is not the appropriate word to be utilized there. Other than that, that's about all I have in here.
Okay, Commissioner Arias?
No, I don't have any questions. This would be good for the people in that area in order to continue doing their jobs and doing their learning. This is great.
Okay, with that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Plateau Telecommunications with the change from landlord to maybe property owner.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement with Plateau Telecommunications with the appropriate amendments.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes,
Next on the agenda is the city manager's report.
We have, okay, is that it, or is this another one?
No, we have that.
Oh, dumped, yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to start off with something that was fresh in my mind, something that I've been working on the past couple of days. I've been going around with the producers of the proposed Bands of Enchantment that will be filmed here in Tucumcari. A lot of positive things coming from the producers. Ken and Vince Jr. did a great job. I was able to take them to a few places, introduce them to the commissioners and a few people throughout town. They're very enthusiastic. They like Tucumcari. They're even more impressed at the hospitality and the warm welcomes they received during this difficult time with COVID. So that's very encouraging because I think we're a great town, and then for them to actually be here in person, it just solidified it and showed them exactly what we had to offer. So they're very excited. I'm looking forward to moving forward with the agreement. We did remove it from the agenda tonight. That was the item that we struck, and we're going to try to get that back on the first meeting in December. We're just making sure both sides are happy. We're going back and forth. We're both happy right now, but there were a few things that our city attorney had pointed out, and so we did have a brief conversation with him today. It's nothing that can't be fixed, so I imagine we'll be here the first meeting in December approving that agreement. Another thing that I was asked to look into previously were the lights at Dunn Park. The last time we had discussed this at the city commission meeting, there was a death in the individual's family, so I had not reached out to him. Since then, I have reached out to him, and I found out there's a very lengthy process on trying to resolve the big picture, what we're trying to do. Our underground electric is in bad shape. So XL has stepped up to the plate, and they're willing to take over the lights, which would save the city some money. So I stood on the phone for more than an hour on hold and was unsuccessful in getting through the line. So I'm going to try again tomorrow. I have to call in to a certain phone number, and asked him to transfer it over from the city over to Excel. So I will continue to work on that. We've had some changes as well with the new public health order. Some things have shut down, and I wanted to list a few things. Of course, all city offices are closed to the public for very critical acts of business. Anything we have to do, we can schedule accordingly, some safe meetings with individuals to get things moving forward. Otherwise, we are handling things through the telephone as well through email. But the public library is closed. That was something that we had reopened, as well as the historical museum. Coronado Park, where individuals could dump the tree branches for free, that has been closed since it is not essential. And we have taken more measures internally within the city to try to be safe. We have unfortunately had a few positive cases within the city, so we have started to mitigate the situation and just been doing everything we can to be as safe as we can, not jeopardizing employees or their families. And I will leave it at that. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. All right, next on the agenda is items from commissioners. Commissioner Arias, we'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I have just a few things on my list here. The first thing, we had a brief meeting of the Ute Lake Water Commission on Tuesday or Monday. It was earlier this week, but the ISC, the Interstate Streams Commission, came back after we presented them with the contract that we had done. They came back with wanting us to add an operating and maintenance cost to the reservation that we have there. Their stance is that the Ute Lake is costing them a little bit more than they had expected to maintain and run. It was decided at that Ute Lake Water Commission meeting that we go ahead and we accept their terms of $2.60 per acre foot for OMI. In exchange, we are keeping our $1.50 reservation fee. So for the city, we're actually being that we were selling a portion of our water already, we will be seeing a small decrease in that cost. So the overall total that we will be billed for, that should be coming in the next couple of days. I did receive that from Ms. Gray earlier. It'll be about $36,350 for the reservation fee on top of the O&M that we'll be paying to the ISC to keep that. I do have a breakdown here. So for the 6,000 acre feet, it'll be in OMI alone, it'll be $15,600 per year. For the 500 acre feet that we do sell, that'll be $12,500, which it will cost us to purchase and sell back out. And then the 5,500 acre feet that remain will have the cost of $8,250, bringing us to the total of $36,350. So we're going to see an additional cost there, but we will see a slight reduction in savings as well.
So Commissioner Arias, if I could, so on the portion of acre feet that we actually sell, we lease out, that O&M cost actually went down from the $475 for O&M down to the $260.
Yes.
However, on the portion that we are not utilizing, we also have that charge that was never there before. The $260 is also on that. So we're actually going to see an increase of about $12,000 to our account. It's an increase for us. But I've since talked to our finance director, and we do have the means of covering that charge.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. When I said the decrease, I didn't mean on the 500 feet. Thank you. I didn't clarify. Yes.
Thank you for serving on that committee.
Yes, ma'am. And then I do also want to commend you on the actions you've taken for the meeting tonight, directing to have the commissioners split up. I do thank you for that.
Thank you.
Can
Commissioner,
I ask a question, Commissioner Arias?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you say this invoice was gonna need to be paid?
The invoice, let's see, I do have it here. I did receive it. It did finally open up for me. Looks like they're gonna be sending it out. This is gonna be for the 2021 year.
Okay, cause I was gonna say we've already paid the $23,125 this year, so it just made me a little nervous. I thought we were gonna have to pay again.
But there will be an additional cost, but it's not gonna be the full amount.
Okay.
And I'll get this email forwarded over to Mark and yourself as well.
Rochelle, so it was discussed in the Lake Water Commission meeting the other day that they will be sending out the invoice like Commissioner Audius referenced. However, it's just gonna be for that O&M increase. The remaining costs we've already paid, so it's just for that O&M increase at this time.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Villanueva, it's your turn.
Yes, I wanted to ask, Mark about the potholes. Have you done much about it?
Yes, sir. We continue to follow the work orders and patch what we can, and then it's always a new story. Sometimes it's broke, then it's fixed, and it's broke, then it's fixed. So we need to look at a long-term solution on getting probably a better pothole machine. But when it is working, they're sure out there and they are following their work orders, and we get to those that we can until it breaks again.
Okay, did you ever check with the millings that I was telling you about?
Yes, sir. That's been forwarded to Mr. Lopez at Community Development, and I've asked him to look into that. We do have to put together a letter as well as quantities in the project area and what those millings would be used for. So Mr. Lopez has been tasked with that, and he has been working on that.
Okay. And I got another question. Did you ever get new computers for City Hall or no?
No, sir. We're getting ready to advertise the RFP the first week of December. There's a process with that RFP. We do have to send it to Horizon through the state to make sure that that group, I believe it is it disabled veterans?
Yes, disabled veterans and just disabled people, not just veterans.
Gotcha. If they could provide that kind of service, then they have first go at it. And then once it clears that, if they're unable to do this type of scope that we were requesting, it'll then go out for the RFP, which has been completed and advertised the first week of December.
Okay. Got another question about the COVID, the masks. Are you gonna make the city employees wear them or not?
So it's been out there, a policy since the beginning when this happened. We strongly encourage our employees to wear their masks. Anytime they are expected to wear their masks anytime they're dealing with the public. And the thing that we've been a little bit more critical on lately is even amongst each other, if we cannot maintain the 6 feet away from each other, you should be wearing your mask. And that's a policy that's been out since the beginning. If we do have our own offices, for example, if I'm in my office and Helica's in hers, and we're by ourselves, there's no need to wear a mask during those times, unless we're interacting with individuals.
Okay. I think that's all I got now, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
I just wanna say thanks for staying on that with, the Dunn Park lights. It is pretty dark out there. How are things going with the vandalism? I know you closed some of the parks and stuff. Has that kind of, detoured the vandalism?
Slightly. I have no news is good news. To my knowledge, I'm trying to think. We've had 3-4 weeks since the last meeting. We've had a few other issues, but I'm trying to recollect if we had any vandalism. I do not believe so.
Have you reached out to I apologize, I can never remember his name, DOT for 54?
Yes, sir. Mr. Gallegos, I have after we had that large amount of snow, we had a lot of standing water, and I am awaiting a response still.
Okay, thank you. Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and respect each other. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Moya.
Yeah, I've got a couple here. One of the things I like to make, point out is, the COVID has been kind of harsh in our community, very hard. I know we had lost one of our residents, and I think today was the funeral for that poor lady. One of the things is, it's been hard, a lot of limitation. All I ask is that a lot of people have a little more patience, because it's taking twice as long to get things done. I know our office now are locked down, and you're only allowed to come in one at a time. You have to take your temperature and all the requirements that the governor's making us do. But I can tell you one thing. Today we had some things going on in the office, And I'd like to also say something very positive. We had to order out for food, and we reached out to two restaurants, actually three. And I think Cornerstone delivered to the people who wanted to order from there, and then El Raero was another restaurant, and they had it ready, and we just went and picked it up. So, a lot of it, I hope we can continue to support our restaurants and those businesses that are really not really struggling, but their things are a little more complicated now because you just can't walk in. But I think most of the businesses are willing to work with you if you call them and ask them for what you need. And I was very happy today that we were able to all have our meals without having to take an hour, and we went along with our meeting and ended before time. So that was good. So keep supporting those businesses that are struggling now because of the COVID and the limitation on it. The other thing I have, and this is something I brought last meeting, and this is kind of important because I think this can help with the small revenue. Maybe we can use it for paying our water at the U Lake or whatever. And that is our real estate that we acquired for wastewater system, which is, what is it, about 300 acres. So is that going to be able to be put out for lease? Because we have to do it now, because whoever will lease it will have to start in the spring to either cultivate it or whatever we're going to do, but or for grazing or whatever. It's important that we realize that we can't have people use our real estate without compensating the taxpayers after we pay for it. This is important, and I know it's only 300 acres, but at the same time, that's some kind of income that can come in.
I have not yet, because we're currently still in the negotiation process with the responsive firm for that. We still have not entered an agreement. So realistically, I do not even see having the land ready by 2021. Realistically, it may be available 2022. And I want to make sure that we have a design and plan before we come up with any kind of agreements or consider leasing it out. Once we have the engineering firm on contract and we have a true design set in place, then I think that would be the time to, it'd be appropriate to go out and look at the lease. So we see exactly what can we lease, what's going to be utilized for infrastructure as far as the pipe, where are the pivots going to sit, where can a possible holding pond or multiple ponds be installed. So once I think I have a little bit more information, then we can really nail down how we want to draft up the lease on it, and exactly what we'll be leasing for what purpose.
Who's utilizing it now?
Right now, the only person that was utilizing it, to my knowledge, was Mr. Smith.
Well, I think we shouldn't allow him to utilize it. We're not going to allow the rest of the ranchers.
And I agree.
What's right's right, and we have to be very careful because that's public money and public real estate. It'd be different if it wasn't. If it was your own, you can do what you want to, but it's not ours. It belongs to the community.
Correct, I agree. And Mr. Smith had a certain amount of time that he had to remove his property and get his things off. So I will look into that, see when that date was. That way we can make sure.
I would like to know that date.
Yeah, most definitely.
The thing that it is, when it's ready and whatever's going to be available or not available, we have those people that come here. What is it? The little farmers, independent farmers that are doing excellent in producing in that area. If there's some of that can be utilized, maybe we should contact them, since that's an excellent program. What is it, that nonprofit that, what is it called?
Tabletop court.
Oh, tabletop.
Yeah, tabletop.
Yeah.
Because they really have done really good, So I think if we could help them and support them, that'd be good. Because we're looking at also a lot of water that can be utilized. I don't know how many. I know not all 300 acres have water rights, but I think we have about 200 acres of water rights there that we're allowing them to. Whoever bids on it can utilize them and pay for the thing. So we have quite an asset there that we need to work with. So that's about all I have. And I want to wish everybody in the community a happy Thanksgiving. Sorry it's going to be a little limited Thanksgiving because of the corona. But we all have a good Thanksgiving. Thank you. That's all.
Right, along with supporting our restaurants too, Main Street is doing a cash mob thing from different local businesses where you can do your Christmas shopping. I know tomorrow night it's going to be at the 66 Visitor Center here on Route 66. Flora May is the,
Oh, okay, yeah.
she runs it, and so, I'm gonna be working it tomorrow night, and so we'll be down there and showing some different kind of gifts. I've watched two of them. One was from Burns Lumber, and they had some really neat stuff.
Sure.
So,
I got suckers with scorpions in them from the dinosaur museum.
So you can shop locally, you know, and I do appreciate all of our restaurants that are working hard to stay afloat. And I agree with all the commissioners that we do need to support them. The one thing I'd like to ask you, I do appreciate the commissioners tonight agreeing to the 3 in person and 2 online, as trying to keep us safe. And with Angelica and Mark here, that was our 5 people. And so I want Tucumcari, we're kind of on an upswing right now, so please wear your mask. It doesn't hurt you. It's not taking away any rights. It's protecting me from your germs. And I don't want them because I have had problems with some of the wind and everything lately. So, and I do want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. It is going to be different. There's nothing I'd like better than to be going to Fort Worth to see my new great grandbaby, but I'm not. I'm going to be staying right here. So, anyway, everybody take care and have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and please stay well. And please be patient with each other. The nastiness on Facebook has just got to stop, man. And it has calmed down a lot since the election I think it's over, but anyway, whatever. So just remember, it's a time to be nice to your neighbors. We've all been cooped up since March. Tensions are high, and I realize that. So anyway.
I have one thing for you, Mayor. I think you need to explain that the rules that were important, that are being done now, it's mostly by the governor and
Right.
it's not by you. And I think I heard some bad comments on that.
Yeah.
I felt I told him, I said, well, it's your governor, it's really not the mayor.
Right.
And I think there's a misunderstanding there by some people.
Okay. No, I'm following the governor's rules. So that's why we are having 3 here and 2 online. And we hopefully by December 3rd meeting, our next meeting, we can all be here. If not, we'll figure out if we want to do it the same way or the same people here, people online. So anyway, but again, stay safe and have a happy Thanksgiving. And so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanova,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes. Yeah, I'm waiting on Mayor.
Yeah, I found
You guys have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank
You
you,
too.
Todd. You do well. Thank you.